Hello, Nita. My name is Andrew from Amica Digital, and thank you so much for allowing us to send this to you. It's been a privilege to be able to put this together and share some SEO insights with you that can improve your organic visibility along with your sort of AI visibility as well. So, when we had a really quick look over the site, we were going to crawl your entire website. There's roughly 20,000 URLs. We crawled roughly 13,600. And the reason we did that is because we were wanting to look for problems with the site. But when I was putting this Loom video together, I thought those issues are secondary at the moment to some of the basic things that we've noticed that needs to be attended to quite urgently. So a little bit of background on myself. I've got 20 years of SEO experience. I've worked across many national and international campaigns in Australia, globally, including some campaigns in New Zealand with a storage company. And I focus, this is what I do day to day. So this is pretty much what I know and what I've been studying for and working with for a very, very long time. So let's get into it. So when I have a look at sort of your overall traffic, and I'm using obviously a third-party resource, Ahrefs, to have a look at your data. The Nelson market has pretty much been losing traffic since around April 2024, and it's pretty much lost half its traffic since the peak of your monthly organic traffic. So roughly around April 2024, I can see about 1,100 people on the website, and it's about like coming down to July, there's sinking down to 537. So you lost over 50% of your traffic. And so we need to really work out why in the first sort of 3 to 6 months of working together, because if we don't figure that out, then obviously, nothing pretty much else really matters. We've noticed that some of your backlinks, people that have linked to you, you've lost some of these backlinks, and these backlinks are like an endorsement of who actually sends you a link, is like a credible resource that the Google can look at and go, wow, this site's relevant. They link to the Nelson market. Why not bump them up higher in the search engines? So if you have a look at, let's say, Never Ending Voyage, this site once upon a time has linked and for some reason has no longer done so. So we need to look at each one of these sites that's linked to the Nelson market, figure out maybe perhaps why they've no longer doing it. And if there's a way back to claw that link back, we're definitely going to do that. All right, so on the website, so basically just off the bat, just the homepage. Blueberries, yay, my favorite. There's no immediate like capture heading that, like the main heading is a H1, and that is basically just since 1981. The H1 should be like a newspaper headline, captures your attention right on the top of the page. I would be like, New Zealand's best market, the Nelson market, New Zealand's best and most favorite market, or something like that, to incorporate keywords, to incorporate a sense of, wow, look where I am. I'm hitting the homepage, and this is New Zealand's best market for creatives, for growers, food enthusiasts, foodies, etc. You really want to incorporate these types of wording to help the search engines, but also to get people excited about visiting this market. The titles at the top here in the tab bar, it's Home Nelson Market. So if you have a look, view page source, you have a look at the title. Now the title is just Home Nelson Market. Again, not an optimized title. This title is important because this is the title that appears when someone sees your listing in Google. So you really want to make sure that these titles and meta descriptions, these, are written in a way to encourage clicks. Okay, so going through the entire website and building these out will be enormously beneficial for the Nelson market. Okay, I don't even necessarily Is there a meta description? Please tell me there's a meta description. No, there's no meta description. So basically, Google takes this description here, basically from what it can find on your page. So if I have a look at, let's say, this amount of text, it's basically grabbing it from the first sentence it can really find. So we want to be able to define that so we can make sure that it's optimized for clicks. Anytime your listing appears in the search, we obviously want to optimize for ranking positions, but we also want to rank for clicks. There's no point ranking highly if nobody's clicking on your organic listing. Okay. Shop the market. There's no breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs help people sort of navigate where they are on the site and locate where they are and to navigate internally. They're a great way for search engines to understand the search engine depth. So if I, let's say, click on food and beverage, it's a better heading than since 1981, but I'm pretty sure we can create something even better than that. That's optimized for SEO, but also there's no content on these pages. So what I will do, you have the H1, and then I would add content underneath here. So if I have a look at, let's say, this area, edit as HTML, probably just underneath the heading, the breadcrumbs will be something like home, market shop, food and beverage. Now, obviously, this needs to be styled, but you can kind of see what I'm saying. So basically, home, market shop, and market shop will basically be linked. Okay, I'm going to get to this page in a minute, and then we got a tertiary level category. So then this one would be home, market shop, food and beverage, and then this page, and then the home, market shop, and food beverage would all be linked back to their respective pages. This is really important for SEO, for search engines, and for AI to understand the depth of your site, which you have, which is great. So we need to optimize that depth to its full potential. And then underneath the breadcrumbs, good opportunity to put a paragraph and okay, and then put some content underneath here. Obviously, it needs to be styled better, and therefore, improve it. The problem with having it on this side, sometimes it's hard for people to see. So I would move these breadcrumbs right underneath the food, then add a bit more content, and then we can internally link that content to other pages of the site. Okay. I'm not a big fan of not having it all aligned. And then if we go to this page, then we've got honey, another level, we've got quaternary of categories here. Then you click on autumn gold honey. And so this is see the breadcrumbs? Look at that. It's just home and shop. So they haven't even been coded properly. So this should all be done again anyway. Because you got home, you would have home, shop the market, food and beverage, honey, or autumn gold honey, and then this particular product. Or honey, and then autumn gold honey. That is such an important depth. Another thing is I wouldn't have the word product in it. I would basically, we want to dump product category. Why? Not useful for search. So it'll be something like this. We've already got honey in the URL. Building that structure and a consistent breadcrumb will be very, really important. And you can see we've got like food and beverage twice, and it's quite messy. So market shop, food and beverage, probably don't even need the word packaged, right? Probably dump package out. Do we really need that? It's something that we'll discuss with you. But basically, that's how, autumn gold, right? That's how I would build that URL for that product. That's how I would build the breadcrumbs. That's how we would build the URL structure. And it's far easier to optimize for search. Okay. And then we've got some interesting pages as well where we're on the food and beverage package home. And then I clicked on organics beeswax. And the product, this particular product page looks completely weird. It looks like it's the mobile version. It's not loading correctly. The entire design style of the house is the style of the website is pretty much gone. There's no footer menu. It's like, what's happening? This could potentially scare people off. So something that we need to look at as well. I better leave it there. I also noticed that we don't have a blog. We could be blogging. We could be adding videos from the markets every single week that it's on. We could be sharing stories from customers, things that they've bought, improve our social media, and the lot. You also have a link to your dev. I'm not a big fan of site-wide footer links to websites that are not relevant to what we are, what we do. I'm sure you can sort of keep that there, but we can probably just remove it from linking to slightly different. I don't feel how that can benefit sending traffic off your website to the company that created the website. Plus, links should all be to relevant locations, as we would want relevant links pointing to our site. Thank you so much, Nita. Hopefully this was beneficial for you. If you've got any questions, I look forward to having the opportunity to having a Google Meet with you when we can address these issues and a whole lot more. Thank you so much and have a lovely day.